Here we are back again, and wow, we really are seeing a lot of crime, aren't we? And this is pretty amazing because now we are on day 24. Amazing, not in a positive way. So before we begin, I've got a few little things that I want to show you. And I believe, as I like to say, we may just need another slice of paper. Because look, we're filling up the days, and so we're going to take this map from the Tucson, Arizona to the Grand Junction, Colorado, little thing that we did. And let's see, what happened yesterday? Really not too much. A lot of it has come to light now as of today. So we're just gonna write this down. We're going to be here. I'm so glad my friends are here with me. Let me make sure that I've got it in the right order here. Yes, I do. So now we are in Tuesday. And today is the 24th of February, 2026. It is approximately 12:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, here's the little, here, don't look at that now. No peeking. That's my fault. That's my fault. Okay, so now this is the third day of the week because the days of the week start on Sunday. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So this is the third day of the week. So this is 2 plus 4 equals 6. This is the second month of the year, so that is a 2. And then this is a comes out to number 10, and we reduce that one more time, so it is 1 plus 2 equals 2. Hello. 1 is 1. Okay, then we have this here, the 7, 8, 9, that comes out to. All right, so we're gonna look at the numbers. So now we add all of these together. So it's 3 plus 6 plus 2 plus 1 plus 9. Sometimes I like to add them backwards. Sometimes I like to add them forward. My phone keeps ringing if you, for some reason, need to, because it'll blank out my camera. All right, so that's 10, 12. We have 18, 19, 20, 21. 21. And then we reduce it, and that is 2 plus 1 equals 3. I think that's correct. So it's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Yep. The number 3. We have a lot of 3s here over the past days. A 3 can mean a group coming together. It can mean almost like a corporate, a collaboration. And I know what that is because the Cajun Navy is in town today. Who's Cajun Navy? Well, that's a group of people that come into town that have a lot of experience searching for missing people. They're wonderful people, and they're there to lend support, advice, maybe do a little bit of searching. They're wonderful. It's a wonderful group. So the Cajun Navy is in town. That actually happened last night, I believe. So, okay. So now, what I have for you today is a little different. We're going to put this to the side so it doesn't get, because these, see what happens here? Gets kind of crumply. All right, we're going to put that to the side so we can work on that tomorrow. Before we continue, many of you are asking me what pens and writing instruments that I use. I don't think somebody said I've got a dumb question. It's never dumb. Never dumb. I'm always happy to share. And look, this is the pack of pens that I use. They are Tool Gel Ink in blue. They are the best, absolutely. And I go through pens like no tomorrow, my darlings. So I love these pens. I won't buy another. I like gel pens because they are very smooth. That's number one. Number two, when I'm doing the chronicling for Vale Keep and into the journals and so forth, I have these types of pens. They're archival and they don't damage papers or anything. They've got varying tip sizes. They're beautiful. They are in black. I do like black for archival type journaling and so forth. So they're out of number sequence there, but okay. But that's what those are. Those are those. Okay. So now, all right. Now, the next thing I want to show you is for some of my drawings and sketchings, because I do sketch things out before I use other programs to help me clean them up. And yes, I do that. This is the pencil, the premium sketching set. I love these. You're going to see them more often. They come in varying hard to soft point. They're beautiful. Sometimes I don't use these. It comes with a little sharpener there. I'm going to set that out because I will need him. And that is the box to that. So I do a lot of drawing. I do a lot of, thank God I have what I have, because I'll probably be spending a lot more time on it as I go. And there's another thing I wanted to add on to this too, and that is today, the Guthrie family. 1 million and operative words up to 1 million for recovery. That is a buzzword. And then another 500,000 to missing children. I believe it's missing and exploited children, but okay. To that organization. That's very generous for them. I want you to know that anytime you see rewards, and over my career of looking for either missing objects, people, whatever the case, whatever may be missing, that is the legal standard to say up to. Because if you get information and you go on a wild goose chase and it's not really the information, they can actually reduce this and say, well, that's not really worth $1 million. That might be worth, I don't know, 10 grand, 20 grand. We're waiting for the big fish to come in. In my years, I have never seen a full reward. Now, that's not saying that it doesn't happen, because I'm sure it does, but I've never seen a full reward paid to one person, because it's usually up to a certain amount for the conviction, or I'm sorry, for the arrest and conviction of. So there's a lot of little operative words in there that, people that want to go on a wild, I'm not interested in any of that. And anytime, and I'm just going to say this, anytime anybody has ever offered me any type of reward or anything else, like, I don't take it. I ask them to just please donate it or whatever, because, now if I'm on a bigger case and I get hired privately, that is separate. But as far as rewards or anything else, I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in finding people, returning that's, and if I have the ability to help out, I'm going to. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm not so right, but I'm here. All right. Another little thing yesterday I said was, I heard a $10 million life insurance policy. That is not a fact. Everybody's jumping on that. I just want to make sure that everyone knows that I have not been able to verify that. Now, somebody not only handed me my lunch, but ate my lunch in the comments, and I had to just remove it because it was so forceful. How could an 84-year-old woman get a $10 million life insurance policy? Well, listen, I know that that happens. It's very possible. My grandmother was 90 years old and she got a policy not for 10 million, but it was sizable enough. It was a short-term life policy, and she outlived the policy. She passed away when she was 96. So it's neither here nor there. People have different reasons for that sort of thing. That's the way it is. All right. I do not want to get emotional, and that's one thing I'm going to caution many of you. Getting emotional during these things does not help with the energy in trying to find someone. Yes, it's an emotional tug of war, but being emotional can be more hurtful to yourself. And you know what? You got to take care of you first, because if you don't, how can you take care of others? That's the way you got it. And you got to keep your logic in place. Absolutely. So today I printed off this timeline again, just as a little refresher course. This is in the words of Sheriff Nanos. So I just want to put this out. I'm going to date this as of today's date as well. 4 February 2026. Okay, somebody asked me again. I like to answer all your questions, okay? Somebody asked me again, because there are times when I'll write a 2 like this or a 2 like this. When I'm writing in cursive, like in a letter or something like that, I'll loop my 2s. But if I'm writing in a numerology type application, I do it more of an accounting way, so I don't get it hosed up, messed up, whatever. And that's just the way it is. So just so you know that. All right, so here we are. February 1st, investigators believed that Nancy Guthrie was abducted in her sleep. Now that's important, because there was a woman that came yesterday and said, took Nancy out of her bed, and then Savannah Guthrie this morning said, took our mother out of her bed. Okay? And then Nancy Guthrie's doorbell disconnected. The sheriff said, we're going to go by what the sheriff said. He may be right, he may be wrong. I'm just repeating what he says. 2:12 a.m., the camera software detected a person on camera, but no video is available. So this was a statement that he put out early before we got these images. They had no subscription, therefore it would rewrite itself. Da, 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 da. Okay, we're not done with that. Good for you. At 2:28 a.m., Nancy's pacemaker app disconnected from her phone. I want all of you to understand that just because it disconnects from an app doesn't mean anything. That pacemaker will continue to go on if it's not connected to an app, okay? So then at 11:56 a.m., relatives responded to Nancy Guthrie's home, discovered she was missing. At 12:03, the family called 911. All right. I just wanted to put that out there. So we have, I did a thing. Here we are. And I'm going to show you what I did. I did a little bit of trigonometry today. Took me a bit, but I did it. The way the house sits, this is true north. This is where the front, this is just an indicator, not the angle of the front door. The angle of the front door is like this. I should have marked that. This is the angle of the front door. Just like this. Okay? This is important. This is an overhead of Nancy's home. Putting this to the side. I'm going to show you I took an image from the videos that was of this perpetrator. His approximate height is 5 foot 10 inches. This right here was his left foot coming into the entryway. This is the entryway here of Nancy's home. This is a shadow. This is the body of the shadow. This is the head of this person reflecting down this way. So this shadow, this is a shadow of his left foot, which is right here. Remember that. I'm going to leave it there for a minute so you can glance on that, because there's something important that I did with this. It's calculations. Numbers don't lie. Now, this zoomed in. I zoomed this in approximately 5 times. If you listened to Ashley Bamfield last night, it is clear that they're saying that this image right here is from January 11th of 2022. 2026. This image is from February 1st of 2026. Okay? I zoomed that in a little bit because I wanted to make sure that there was nothing. You can see a very, very faint street light here in the back. You may not be able to see that on camera, but it's there. It's the same, not a street light, it's a neighbor's light. It's the same as here. Now there's one thing that I wanted to show you. From my calculations, these tiles, and I believe that Nancy and her husband bought this house, was it in 1985, I think? Something like that. Each one of those, the height and width of this should be right around 12 inches. That's how you can calculate the steps that this dude is taking, because this is all that concrete pebble that's poured. Now, here's something that's very interesting. That's him here on the right-hand side, standing in front of the left hand as you're viewing it. He's standing this way. This is the front door. He's standing to the left of the front door. Now, here's where the rub is, my darlings. Here's where the rub. So you saw this, and you saw this. The trigonometry that I've done, and I cannot be exact on this, and it's because I don't have all the calculations. I did the best that I could. I took the perimeters, the coordinates, the subject height, the shadow length based on the dimensions of the tiles. I took the direction of the shadow. I figured out all of this altitude, the light source altitude, the moon, and all of this, my darlings, and I'm going to mark this as well. So this is February 24th of 2026. This is called an azmuth. And that is AZIMUTH. That is how you navigate. It's based on true north, like a 0 true north, and it's a circumference of how you, it's based on like a horizontal, the meridian line that goes this way of the earth, and then it's based, so you're calculating this way. This is the only way I can show you. You can look that up, azimuth. It's either pronounced azimuth or azimuth. Either is common and acceptable. All right. So now I've done all of the calculations, the lunar altitude, which means the position of the moon. Why is this so important? I'm going to tell you why. Because of this right here. from the position of the moon, which is up here and shining down this way. You can figure the length, the width, the breadth, and the placement of the shadow based on this dude that will tell us the timing of what position the moon was in. That's what we're doing here today. We'll get the cards out in a minute. So, based on all of this, now, this one photo, am I driving you crazy? Because I'm driving me crazy with all this. This one photo, look how dark and black that is. Well, there's a reason for that. January 11th was the last phase of the moon, and it gets pretty dark. And I believe it's waning. Now, there's something about January 11th that we talked about the other day, and we're going to talk about that again. Let me get my book out here. And no, we're not going into the big book of Bull right now. But you see, when we talked about, and this was on the 21st, this was the Grand Junction little talk we had on that time. And here were the timelines that Google Trends said that pre-abduction, that Nancy Guthrie was Googled, I guess, or looked into. They looked for her address January 5th, January 17th, and clear back as far as January 19th, they got images of the house of Nancy, clear up into January 1, and then January 23rd of 2026. 6 weeks of repeated searches. That is important, because if this definitely is from January 11th, it fits into that time frame. If somebody wanted to come to the property, knew what it looked like, knew what Nancy looked like, and tried to scope it out before this happened. So here it is. It's a temporal analysis from January 11th to February 1st. There was a 41% illumination. It's not going to be enough to light anything and cause this dude a shadow. I'm going to put this right here, so I don't have to keep floating through this. All right. Now, here's where it gets interesting. So the verdict that I find, January 11th, the moon was never high enough in the sky to produce a shadow as short as 3 to 4 feet. It just wouldn't. That's why it looks so pitch black. The date is physically impossible for the observed evidence. Yeah, it's impossible to really find out, except the only thing we know is that this guy doesn't have a backpack. He doesn't have his holster. And you know, if you hold it just right, and I might try to do this, but I don't know if I can do it. You can put a negative image and you can almost see the eye holes and so forth, but I don't know if even that's really relevant. It's pitch black. The lunar phase, it's an event date, okay? So I talk about the maximum altitude. The moon reaches the meridian. The meridian is this line that goes across the world. The meridian at 12:06 a.m. at a very high altitude of 79.7 degrees. So we'd go through there, but I want to pin down some timelines here. Pinpointing the time and the azimuth of February 1st. Azimuth are the calculations. You might as well just say navigating the moon trails. That's what it is. By tracking the moon's descent from its peak, we can calculate the exact window. Time windows. The moon reaches 62%. Okay, I'm gonna spare you from all that. That is the 1:37 a.m. where the moon reaches that. The moon reaches this calculation at 2:16. The azimuth calculation is the compass direction of the moon. That means if the moon is up here, right here, and this is a compass, the moon changes minute by minute as the world is rotating, and the compass helps to decide where it is, and how you do that is figuring out the degree, which is the degree of measurement based on also longitude and latitude. And I'm sorry if I have lost most of you, because this can get really in depth, but hey, we're here. So this goes through all those calculations, okay? The front entry and driveway of 5820 North Camino Escalante are oriented the north to northeast, okay? It's this way. The shadow is cast outward. This shadow is cast outward and appears to move from the west side to the subject east to northeast. So depending upon how you look at this, as this person starts over here and starts walking and coming this way, the shadow direction moves. And what would cause that? Well, the closer to this door jamb, the closer to the house, the moon trajectory moves the shadows because it's coming closer to the house, and the house throws the moon rays off, okay? Why is this important? Well, it helps us to calculate when this dude was there. The summary of the findings. January 11th to February 1st. Now, January 11th, I'm not too concerned about because we can't really take, but I was just interested because this was a side by side. We matched the shadows. The minimum possible shadow is 12.8 inches. The calculated time that I can come down now, I'm just saying calculation, this is not an absolute because I don't have all that. This is the closest that I can get to this. And that is this person, I don't even want to call him that, but this, I'm going to say evil in a meat suit, was present at the front entry between the hours of 1:37 a.m. to, this is the closest I can get it, my darlings, 2:16 a.m. on February 1st, 2026. The moon positioned at the southwest over here, casting a shadow toward the north-northeast along the driveway, because the driveway is out here, and it's not a circular driveway, but the driveway actually looks like this. And somebody is at my door. I need to pause and see who this dude. Don't worry, I'm okay. My darlings, that was Amazon. And someone, many of you have bought me beautiful gifts, and I haven't had a chance to take a picture of them yet. And I will be acknowledging all of you. And there's more boxes here. Plus, I am rebuilding an old Mac because I love the editing studio that's in this Mac. It's a 2010. So I'm replacing batteries. I'm replacing all kinds of SD drive. I'm doing all that. Yes, that's what I do. All right, so this is such an exact science, and it's very hard not to make it exact, if that makes sense, because you have a moon azimuth, you have a shadow azimuth, and it's all based on the degrees, longitude, latitude, meridian, calculations. Now, I want you to look that up because it's very interesting. But that's how you can navigate a map. But this is especially how you can navigate the moon. Full moon, the night she was taken. Now, don't you kind of wish the neighbors would have had their Ring cameras up and rolling? Don't you just kind of wish that? I sure do. Now, based on this, and you know, I don't even have that timeline where things disconnected. Yes, I sort of kind of do. $1:47. The doorbell camera disconnected. So this guy must have shown up about 10 minutes before the doorbell get disconnected. And then at 2:28, her pacemaker disconnected. So this time right here, between 1:37 and 2:16 a.m., this guy was on the move. This guy was putting it in place. This is the closest that I can get, my darlings. I wish I could get closer. If I had more, if I was working directly with law enforcement, and no, they won't give it to me, and no, I don't want to, and no, it's okay. But if I had that, I might be able to pin it down by another 5 to 10 minutes, which in forensic numerology, forensic intuition, forensic, all of this stuff that I do, minutes, my darlings, just remember always, minutes mean hours. Minutes mean hours. And I want you to keep still today. No, don't keep still. Keep close today, because I'm going to be posting another video on True Oracle. And it's going to be very interesting. I believe that you're going to really like it. So, let me get some cards. And thank you for indulging me today, because you know what? This kind of stuff intellectually turns me on. To be able to find that, and I want you to know this is how literal, amazing Earth, universe, sky. And when I say the numbers don't lie, the numbers, when you really get into this, don't lie. A lot of this I do by hand. And yes, sometimes I struggle. And yes, I can put it into apps. But you know, I'm one of these that I have to see. Now, there's probably many of you lovely, wonderful mathematicians out there that are going, Zelda, what are you doing? You could just do it. I could. But for me, half of the fun is working it out longhand, as they say. Here we are. One of you lovely Zeldanators asked me, do you ever use a Lenormand style deck? Yeah, we're going to do that today. We'll use this. And it's a combination Cartomancy. Okay, we're going to do that because I've got some questions. I know you do too. Let's clear the decks. Thank you very much. All is well. All is well. All right. Now, using the House of Zelda cards today, we're asking for a foundation. And there it is. It's time to look closer. And that is exactly what we've been doing. And it's so funny because if you look at this card, this is actually a mirror that I actually drew out and copied from an antique place. And that was in Middle Tennessee that I saw that, and I just loved it. And sometimes we have to look in the mirror. Sometimes even cameras can be mirror images. That's amazing, because guess what? If that Ring camera at Nancy's on the front entry would have been a mirror image, it would have thrown all of the calculations completely off. Done. It would have just been. So those are the things that really make a difference. Look closer. We are. Okay, we're going to continue to look closer. We're going to continue to look closer. Now, give us because I've got some burly questions today. And they are burly. Wisdom is needed. Absolutely. Falsehood or being lied to. I believe that too. Pardon me. Moving everything around today. And the next 30 days are very important. And I also believe that. I'm going to move these here. Move over there. Hand of Fate. Let's go next with the Lenormand. Now, I personally believe that the Guthrie family believes that something has happened with their mother. And I'm very sorry for that. But am I allowed to say that? Of course I am. And I do not want to hurt anyone's feelings. There was something I just kind of put me on edge about Savannah's message today. And that was that message where she said they were going to be giving. I don't know. And I want you to know this. Actresses, people who train to be in front of the camera are taught to repeat. And she did it once, and Annie did it once. And I'm sorry to say this, but it kind of gave me an Erica Kirk vibe. Okay, all right, lunch is served. You'll be eating my lunch. But I'm not cutting anyone down, and this is horrific for the family. But there's something there, okay? Many of you, I think, feel it too. And here's another question. Why now? This is on week 4. If you're going to put up $1 million, 48 hours, that $1 million should have gone up. Now you're going to have everybody's brother, dog, pup, grandmother, and AutoZone worker out trying to garner that $1 million. I'm not going. I can tell you that right now. I can do just as much here to find her as that I could out there. Why would I want to go out there in the heat and everything else where you need a permit and you're going to be watched? I can guarantee there's many of masterminds I can do much better here. And that is someone playing, I think, Shaggy with a bell, so it's not paranormal. All right, here we are. Now that is Nancy. That is the sun. A lot of sun in Tucson. This is a timing card of spring. This is a timing card of winter. She went missing in the winter. 9, 2, 10, 11. That 11 is a master builder number. Now, 31 is 4. That is a foundation. This store has a, that is Scooby with a bell toy wanting everybody to come and play with her. All right. So no, she's not in distress. It's just, it's the call of the wild. The stork is the brand new beginning. And it's a birth of a new beginning. And didn't we say we're at a 1 today no, we are at a 3 today. Calculation 3 is an education number as well. Being tested. But this Queen of Hearts is Nancy. And I'm not going by astrological sign because it wouldn't be her if it were. Because how I read, diamonds are air signs. The stork is that where staying near the nest. So we see that people are staying near Nancy's house. So I believe as of today, we're going to see some changes come about. We may even see new ransom or a message from TMZ because of Nancy's, I'm sorry, not Nancy, pardon me, Savannah's video today. I think we're going to see some more of things. The bear, is that where it's a card of some type of loyalty but hibernated and staying sometimes hidden, which I also feel is obviously Nancy's energy right now. This 10 of clubs is a lump sum of money. The tower. Now this tower is not the same in a Lenormand deck as it is in a tarot. The tower denotes government. It denotes, can be a prison, and can also be a hospital. Do I think that this person who is doing this or came up to this house has any priors? Not that we know of. Not that he's never done anything before. I just think it's not that we know of. Yeah. Thank you. That was confirmation from the universe. So I believe we're going to hear a lot from government officials within the next 48 hours regarding things. And then there's Nancy, the sun. Now, it's amazing. The next 30 days are important. A reference to moon and sun. Will we get another image? I'm going to say this. I believe that there are more images from those cameras and we're not being shown. I'm going to address all this in my video on True Oracle. You'll know about it, I'll tell you. Look, there's another moon. So that's definitely important. Definitely important. And here's this. A decision. But I think there's going to be some happiness, but short-lived. There may be hope, but short-lived. This moon, more decisions. You see, we've got the 5s and we've got 10s. More decisions coming up, and definitely a good omen and a positive thing. But it's also an exposure of secrets. And don't forget, we are in the shadow period of Mercury retrograde. Mercury now is positioning in its retrograde position. That happens February 27th. So in 3 days, buckle up. This fellow right here, this is one of the guys. And I believe we may have some type of information coming that has to do with this guy. Now, this 10 of Hearts is all about having a happy life. And it's also about extraordinary fame. Now, I've not seen a case like this maybe since Jean-Benet Ramsey. The Idaho 4 was pretty, but this case is like really something else. Worldwide type stuff. Well, all of them were. Jean-Benet, Idaho 4, this particular case, getting a lot of press. Now we're getting close to the Cartomancy, and the Cartomancy tells me what's going on. We'll keep going here. Ironically enough, this Queen of Cups matches this Queen of Hearts. Same card, different deck. Tarot Cartomancy. This Queen of Cups, it's all about memory. It's all about celebration. And I'm going to say perhaps a celebration of life. But look at this. This is a card of coming together and negotiating, trying to work things out. And there's the medical staff of Hermes, the caduceus on there. Water reference. All water and the tarot come from the High Priestess robes, and that is not her, but she's dressed like her. because this is part of starting new, part of starting over. This is a cup card, water element, but this guy is a brand new beginning because he's dressed like the Fool. It's starting on a new pathway and matches this stork energy. Now, this Page of Cups, he's got an emotional message that he's going to be giving. And then followed up by the Page of Pentacles that has a financial decision to make. All right, show us what's going on. Show us what's going on. Do I think that more information about this perp or somebody's coming out? Yes, I do. And there are two of them right here, and this one matches this one. So I believe this is, I'm going to call him the leader of the pack, the kingpin. He's very grounded right now. He's not letting things shake him. This one, the same card, this one, he's freaking out. Here is another lump sum of money, and that matches this card. So you see how the Cartomancy can just ground the reading. This card, the Two of Clubs, is all about trying to recover from what has happened. I wonder sometimes, at the sign of the break-in, was this so shocking to Nancy? Because obviously it's going to make her heart race. Obviously it's going to be upsetting seeing one, if not two people in your home. Unsettling. Trying to make a rapid recovery. And I just wonder, based on the EVPs that we had for the house, did she have a stroke shortly after? Because that is a plan gone wrong. And that is a big indicator as to perhaps maybe, I'm not saying that it is, it's just my opinion and just based on the cards. Could that be why they didn't get a proof of life? Other than these people are jokers. And look at the three. And I talked about education. I talked about being tested. That's this card right here. And I believe it's this guy and this guy. Well, the same one and the same. And this guy. You see the female now. That's Nancy. The female hasn't been showing up. She showed up last card yesterday. I think that female is getting cold. I would be getting cold feet, wouldn't you? I believe that there was a message given to this person that said, look, one and done, easy peasy, get in, get out. We'll make sure that we can work all this up. Yeah. And then I think a little wrench was thrown into the gear. Something had happened. But they're learning very, very quickly. That's Shaggy. They're playing. Here is another three. Now, you know what this card is? That is the card of a new beginning. In fact, both of them are pregnancy. Of course, Nancy wasn't pregnant. But this is a new beginning. A new way. Now here, this is interesting, my friends. Whatever these people do right now is a total gamble. Why? Because they're hit, no matter what. It may seem to you and I that law enforcement doesn't really have anything. Well, we just don't know what they have. And we're not privy to everything, even though we would like to be. Because you know what they say, every person's got an opinion. But this card is a gambling card. Could be a casino that she's close to. Because casinos happen to be good places to do money exchanges, by the way. In my opinion. But this is also the card of overcoming a big obstacle. Taking a big risk with a very small win. And you have to calculate, is it going to be worth it? Who benefits? So do I think something is going to be coming out in the next 24 to maybe even 48 hours? Oh yeah, definitely. There's going to be talk of money. There's going to be talk of things. But this card right here, this Joker, this is the major Joker. This Joker right here is all about hidden things, secrets, and hidden information coming out. Do not be surprised, because it can and could be anyone who is implicated in this. And remember, all persons are innocent until proven guilty. And if you're watching, and if you have information, call 188-CRIME or 800, call FBI. Don't hesitate. Make sure you call. And yes, Shaggy is singing along. Thanks for being here, my friends. I'll see you there on True Oracle. Bye for now. Say goodbye, Shaggy.